The Florida House and Senate released their proposed budgets late last week. It's clear Governor Rick Scott's plan about how to spend Florida's anticipated $1 billion surplus is in trouble. Hi, I'm Andy Ford.
And I'm Joanne McCall. Just a few months ago, Governor Scott said he wanted to fund a record level of per-student spending and cut taxes this year. But now, the Republican-controlled legislature is facing a potential $1.3 billion hole in the health care budget. That's because a federally funded program is slated to end soon. The state's budget for the current 2014-15 fiscal year is $77.8 billion. Here are details on the Senate and House spending plans for the coming year.
Senate leaders have proposed an $80.4 billion budget. The Senate budget doesn't allow much room to accommodate Scott's tax cuts. The House budget of $76.2 billion, which is about $4.3 billion less than the Senate's, but has plenty of room to match Scott's tax cut.
The tax proposals include an $18.4 million cut in corporate income taxes, a $470.9 million a year cut in taxes on cell phones, cable, and satellite TV, and a $41.4 million cut in sales tax on college textbooks.
Scott proposed spending $7,176 per student. Both proposed budgets come in below that figure. The Senate's $21 billion proposed education budget boosts per-student spending to $7,123. The House is looking at $7,130 per child.
Both budget proposals increased overall funding for K-12 by about 4%, which amounts to about $750 million more than last year. The House proposal provides about $20 million more than the Senate in total funding.
The House version provides substantial increases to specific programs, including the Sparsity Supplement, Safe Schools, reading allocation, and supplemental academic instruction. The House proposal doubles the current funding level for digital classrooms to $80 million.
The Senate did not include any allocation for digital classrooms yet because the lawmakers have asked the Department of Education for more information before determining an allocation.
The Senate also would create a federally connected student supplement intended to support educational services in districts that have large populations or land tied to military bases, Native American reservations, or other federal property.
Keep in mind that it's still early in the legislative process and anything can happen. Both chambers will hash out their bills separately, vote on them, then meet in conference committees to work out the differences. The final version of the bill then simmers for the required 72 hours before the final vote happens.
The Senate Higher Education Committee heard Senate Bill 938 by Senator Anatary Flores on Monday. The bill includes several provisions that would affect those in higher education. It exempts textbooks from sales tax and requires the Board of Governors and the State Board of Education to identify strategies to lessen the cost of higher education. It also sets a cap on the resident tuition that a Florida college system institution can charge per credit hour and required textbooks to be used for classes for a minimum of 3 years for undergraduate classes.
A handwritten amendment by Senator Negron was added to delete the 3-year provision. UFF FEA staff testified that we supported the Negron amendment and affordable textbooks, but the time frame in the bill for posting required notices for textbooks and their cost must also be addressed. The bill ultimately passed out of committee with a committee substitute.
In other news for higher education, the CS for House Bill 223 by Representative Neil Combie also passed out of the House Government Ops Subcommittee. It allows for those applying for the position of president, provost, and dean of a state university or Florida college system to do so out of the sunshine. The information would only be released 30 days before the position is filled.
An amendment was filed to exclude deans from this list, which slightly alleviated the consequences of the bill. Jennifer Proffitt spoke on behalf of UFF, saying that UFF and the First Amendment Foundation both staunchly oppose the bill.
UFF FEA staff also addressed the composition of the search committees, raising concerns about the amount of people serving on the committees being more representative of the faculty and students. Debate followed with several representatives saying that further discussions needed to be had on the bill before it moved to the floor. To pass CS for House Bill 223, it requires a 2/3 vote of the House.
Like so many education bills we have seen over the years, the committee substitute for House Bill 1145 by Representative Chris Sprowls has both positives and negatives. The bill covers diverse issues and was cautiously praised by the districts because it contained public school choice options. Yet all expressed concerns with some of the provisions. Of concern to FEA is the provision that will allow districts to hire full-time adjunct teachers. This is very similar to alternative certified teachers, but does not require adjunct teachers to pass a subject area test.
Additionally, the bill requires districts to establish a student transfer process for parents to request that his or her child be transferred to another classroom teacher. It does not, however, allow parents to choose a specific teacher. A school must grant or deny the transfer within 2 weeks after the request is received.
The bill would require districts to allow controlled open enrollment, even across district boundaries. It would allow students to transfer to schools that are at 90% capacity. Parents would have to bear transportation costs. Finally, the bill would require the school financial report to include the average amount of money expended per student in the school. The bill ultimately passed out of the House Pre-K-12 subcommittee.
There is still time to reach out to your legislators. You can also take advantage of our letter to the editor templates on the FEA Action Center. Simply pick one and put it into your own words. You can then use the Take Action tab on the website to find the contact information for your local newspaper to send out your letter.
Stay connected. Take part in the conversation on feaactioncenter.org. You can also sign up for our weekly Frontline reports on feaweb.org and follow us online on Facebook and Twitter.